So I want to, react to the breakup, right? The breakup of Destiny's open marriage, right? Very. It's just predictable, okay? So, a man's marriage, this type of guy, everyone predicted this. At least men did. All right, let's get started.
So today, guys, we're going to be talking about one of the most expected and predictable relationship dramas that everyone on the internet saw coming. We're talking about streamer Destiny and the demise of his open marriage.
Yeah, that's a girl name.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it is.
Shocking. The marriage that allowed each partner to sleep with whoever they wanted, whenever they wanted, didn't work out. Crazy, isn't it? We're going to dive into all the details, but if you do not know who he is, Destiny is an OG.
I will say this, right? I've never heard of a successful open marriage, okay, or a happy open marriage, right? If it's successful, it's both people really barely caring about each other, right? They're just doing their own thing and they're just married, but doing their own thing, in my opinion. Right? So I think once an open marriage is talked about or implemented, it's pretty much the downfall of a marriage.
Streamer who has been making content for over a decade. I've reacted to some of his stuff in previous episodes, but he and his wife, Melina, were very publicly in an open marriage where either of them could sleep with whoever they wanted, whenever they wanted, yada, yada, yada. And they were very, very proud of this publicly open relationship. So much so that they would literally go on to podcasts together just to defend their relationship and show how happy they truly were and how awesome it was and how it really, really worked in their favor. Just pretty normal stuff for, you know, your average conventional happy couple. That happens all the time, obviously, that you have to stand up in front of a public audience and defend your relationship at all costs. Anyway, watch this clip from the Whatever podcast.
The 5 best sexual partners that I've had in my life were all the people that I were in the long-term relationships with. Like on a one-night stand, like it's...
Oh my God, it's crazy. Almost like having an emotional connection with the person you're sleeping with makes an impact. Oh my God, that's insane. Almost like commitment.
Yeah, which kind of like defeats the purpose of an open marriage, right? If you have the best sex or the best type of relationship with long-term committed partners, then why even have casual? This is one thing, right? I think, and this is the thing, maybe you got preference, average people. It's very, I think the ones that make it work or that counter to this notion is the rare subset of people, okay? Most people just don't find a whole lot of pleasure. I mean, I think especially average people, right? Whole lot of pleasure with continuously sleeping with different people with really not a whole lot of emotional connection to.
It's a good thing. Sorry. Okay, we're gonna go on. He hasn't even really gotten into the good stuff yet, but shocker.
On a one-night stand, like it's hard to know, like one night stand's not even that fun sexually, depending on what you're looking for.
I can agree that the longer you're with somebody, the better sex gets, so why is she not enough?
Why is she not enough?
Guys, that's Billy Ray Brandt. She's the star of Lady Ballers that Daily Wire just put out. She's so good, and that was just a hard-hitting question because his wife is literally sitting right next to him. Right next to him.
I mean, like, it's kind of like asking, it's kind of like if you've got like a close friend, but then you've got other friends, like, well, why is that one friend not enough? Because in life, sometimes variety is fun.
Yes, every woman loves hearing from her husband that she's just like a friend.
No. We're just friends.
You know, you need a lot of friends. You need a lot of wives. The two are totally interchangeable. Exactly what your wife wants to hear. Yes.
What? I thought we were in the trust tree in the nest. Are we not?
Marriage is not a friendship.
I didn't say marriage was a friendship, but marriage to me isn't just about my going in. A lot of aspects to my marriage that I share with my wife that's really unique to my wife that I don't share with other people. It's just not one of those things.
The whole thing is just so bad. Somebody commented and said, you can totally see the wheels in her head moving as he talks. Yes, like saying the best sex he's had has been with people he was in a long-term relationship with, but that's not the case for their relationship and their marriage. You know, it was different because you need to have lots of different...
I also think, right, in my opinion, and maybe it's true or not, I think she implemented that. Most In my opinion, okay, I think the ones to bring up open marriages, in my opinion, is mostly women. I'm not saying men don't do it, because men do. Men do. But I think majority of the time it is women that bring up the idea of open marriages, because I honestly believe most men are just happy with, because they married the person, okay, they want to be with the person, so they were already happy with the person, okay. Women, their happiness is very fickle, okay. They're happy one moment, not happy another, or they're fine with you one moment, they're not fine with you another moment, or they get bored of you after a while. Okay, you gotta think. Synonymously, women are the ones who create sexless marriages, not men. Okay, not men. So, and to think that women don't want sex is really ridiculous, because they do, but they just don't want it with you, right? A lot of marriages, women, like, this is the thing where I honestly believe, okay, and with the stories I hear and the scenarios, you know, all these crap, even women in sexless marriages that they created, right, they still want sex. They just don't want sex with the man that they married. Yes. So, yeah.
Friends. And a wife is basically a friend.
That just makes no sense. I mean, it's just bull.
Of the clip, he basically describes how being with one person longer makes him happier. Then, once his argument falls apart, and Billy Ray pushes a little further and says, so why is she not enough? He just fell back on saying that sleeping with multiple people just makes him happier. He wants the flavor of the month. It's basically just a friendship. He needs a lot of people in the friendship. And speaking of how happy and stable they obviously are as a couple, I was reminded of this viral clip from last year where you can truly see just how much Destiny loves watching his wife flirt with other men right in front of him. Take a look.
Mel time. It's Mel
Oh, she
time.
got the full work. Okay, so we're just doing salsa. We're just going.
Get the life draining from his eyes.
Hey.
Okay, it kind of works. Yeah,
5, 6, 7, 1. 5, 6, 7, 1.
Like, this obviously went viral for...
Where's the emotional intelligence in that? Okay? You are not expressing your feelings. Okay? You are letting another man having fun with your woman in front of you. Let alone in front of you, right? Dance, it's just, honestly, there are boundaries. There are definitely boundaries. Your woman dancing with another man, having fun with another man, I just think that that's a boundary I would not like. I would not agree with it. Some men, like Destiny, shut up and, they're fine with it, supposedly. I think that's why I honestly believe the same men that are fine with their partner having male friends are ridiculous. They're no different than Destiny, in my opinion. Okay? Because you have no boundaries. You really have no boundaries. And it's like this is the thing, right? One of the things I believe a big attribute that men have is being risk mitigators. Why put your relationship at risk? By letting certain things happen. Okay? By letting things that will cross a logical boundary. Your women having male friends, male acquaintances, male, people that she casually, say hi to or talk a little bit to. That's difference, right? There are key differences to levels in relationships, okay? Friendships, right? Male friendships, you are not mitigating risk. You're definitely not mitigating risk properly. Now, if you don't care if she leaves you, well then, why even be with her, right? Why even be with someone that you don't even care if they leave you or not, right? So, okay, if they leave me, whatever, it is what it is. Well then, you don't really care that much about that person. So, you know, you gotta rethink about what's important to you, right? And if it's important, if someone's important to you, you mitigate the risk properly.
Reason. It was at this moment that everybody collectively on the internet went, "Oh, dude." Like, dude, I am so sorry. This is not going to work out in your favor. My friend, this is very, very bad. And you can see it in his eyes. Does this look like a happy man? No, not in the slightest. Like, you can't go on press tours saying how amazing your open marriage is when this is your instinctual reaction to seeing a dude dance with your wife. Like, everything is crumbling around you. Now, a little later in the video, he pipes in. You just have to hear what he says.
I was getting footage for his next cuck video on me. Thanks. I see what's going on here.
Oh my God, he let his wife dance with another man.
He said, "In what? You want to slap her
It
next?"
sounded like we was grinding or some shit. Like, yo, chill, be easy.
That whole situation is just incredibly uncomfortable, but he literally points it out. Like, this is such sad and insecure behavior. Like, he knows how weird this relationship is. He knows that he can't hide the fact that it makes him uncomfortable, so he has to address it because he knows people online are going to talk. That's why he says, oh, yeah, they're going to make some cucked video compilation. Obviously, dude. Because, again, look at your face. Do you look happy? No. Your wife is dancing with another man. If you were not so publicly in an open relationship, cheering this on, saying this is so amazing, yes, let's celebrate this, nobody would think anything different. Oh, maybe she's just dancing with a friend, whatever. Who cares? But we all know because you made it public. Very aggressively so. Like, I'm sure he feels awful and like he just wants to crawl into a hole and be cozy, which he could do with pajama grace. Like, dude, you could have predicted this from the start. Somebody commented and said, bro looks so happy. This is definitely a healthy relationship. Somebody else said the fact that this dude thinks that he is in the authority to give out any life or relationship advice is hilarious. Somebody else said
That's why I would say, right? Male feminists in general, right? But male feminists are included, are just terrible at talking about male and female dynamics. They're terrible because they are influenced by feminist ideology. Women, okay? Delusional women. And again, I'm not saying all women because obviously, I agree with, some of the things she said, right? I agree with a lot of things she says in this video. So, but I'm not saying, again, it's not about all, but feminists, right? I guess she wouldn't call herself a feminist. But this is the thing, right? It is poisoning. Feminism poisons brains, okay? So I wouldn't trust anyone that essentially are feminists to give advice or talks about male and women dynamics.
His body language says it all here. He is incredibly closed off, irritated, and isn't engaging in their behavior because he is feeling extremely powerless in this situation. Yes, and it does not take a genius to figure out how this relationship ends. But before we get into that, here's one more clip from the Whatever podcast when they were on, and it aged perfectly. Like, I'm sure he is punching himself over saying this.
God forbid this.
And I've talked about him before. His tweets are fantastic. He seems great. He's dope. I reacted to his stuff on Whatever Pod before. That's who he is if you need a face behind the tweets. But this is good.
An entanglement, so to speak, with with somebody who you might find a deeper connection with than the other person. Like, if that causes the relationship to fall apart, that probably wouldn't be very fun.
No, it would be horrible, and it would be sad. But monogamous relationships have the same issue, right? Issue, yes. How many times do you have like a man that falls in love with a coworker or a woman that falls in love with a friend that she spends too much time with? Like, monogamous people have to put up a lot of boundaries in their relationships because they worry about the same types of things,
Do you guys have a high degree of confidence that your marriage will last for decades?
I mean, I married her without a prenup, so I hope so.
But here's the thing, right? He's saying that, even monogamous relationships have problems. Correct. But this is the thing where I said mitigate risk, okay? Yes, there are problems in relationships, but why introduce problems, okay? There's already problems in a relationship between a man and a woman. Why open it up to possibly more potential problems that can happen? You want to mitigate risk, not just open it up to potential problems to, appear. This is the thing where, that's why I said feminism, which is female delusion, and then men becoming female deluded is kind of ridiculous. That is the problem with it. And that's why I said, men that don't understand mitigating risk, I question their manhood. I really do.
Yeah, I hope so. The way that they grabbed each other's hands. Also, yes, monogamous relationships can fall apart. People do break up. People cheat. That is a sad fact. It is a sad reality of the world. However, you can't equate that to your open marriage, where you are intentionally letting other people in. You are intentionally saying, I'm going to go sleep with other people, no strings attached. No, it is a lie to believe that sex is completely devoid of emotion, that you will not form connections with the people. No, that is an utter lie. You are setting your relationship up for failure by being in this kind of marriage. So yes, monogamous relationships do fall apart. That happens every single day. We talk about celebrity breakups all the time, but this is a totally different situation, considering that you have no boundaries to begin with. None. At all. You cannot say that they are the same thing. Somebody commented and said, this is so depressing. Who would have imagined how this would turn out, right? Everybody online. Somebody else said she's definitely divorcing him and getting that bread. LOL. Yes, I mean, he married into one of the most toxic and confusing forms of relationship that is statistically proven to not last, and yet he believed in it so much that he did not even consider a prenup.
Oh, stupid.
And now he's like clenching onto her hand, being like, please, this better work out for decades to come. Come on. Like, dude. But as literally everybody was anticipating and predicting and
let's say this, predicting, right? Because she, the wife, appeared or was talking with Fresh and Fit, saying that it's not about the money, right? It's not about money. She didn't get with the guy for money. Let's see if that's true, okay? And again, nothing is final, nothing's set in stone. But if they don't have a prenup and she gets any money from him, kind of says a lot. Kind of says a lot. Where how could you trust women when shit like that they say, and then their actions are different to what they say? Right? A lot of men always say, you don't listen to what they say, but listen to what they do. Right? Their actions. I'm not good at that, but I mean, I'm not sure the quote is correctly, but you know, you get the gist.
Expecting, she has left him. And yes, it was for another guy that she was sleeping with, just as everyone told him, tried to warn him. Here's a tweet about it. Drama alert. Destiny's wife Melina, who he's in an open relationship with, reportedly ran off with a man in Sweden. And obviously, I don't want to just sit around and laugh about this because all heartbreak sucks. It is painful. I'm sure he's going through a lot. But dude, you could have predicted this from the start. We all have. Like, just the way that you presented the relationship publicly showed that it was not stable, that you were not confident in it, even though you really wanted to prove to everybody that you did feel confident. Like, you allowed your wife to walk all over you and run around the world with other men. That is not a winning strategy. Somebody commented and said, how is bro still not red-pilled? Somebody else said, open relationships don't work and never have. That's the tweet. We could just literally end the episode with that. Thank you for watching the comment section. If you want to see more videos, now if we look at these leaked messages, which is how everybody found out that the relationship was ending, you can clearly see Now, if we look at these leaked messages, which is how everybody found out that the relationship was ending, you can clearly see Destiny admit that the lack of boundaries in his relationship was the death of him. So this is from a Discord channel, I think, but it says, Destiny, I'll have to have a small convo when I'm back about things. I'm not going to nuke Melina or anything, but the last 2 months and 2 weeks have been a massive mind for me. Watching her become obsessed with a toxic/abusive guy. When I visited Sweden last, he gave Mel...
I do want to say, right, what I've heard about is that she essentially... I think she was married or in a committed relationship. I think she was married, but again, she was in a committed relationship and either dumped or cheated on her man. I'm pretty sure dumped for this guy, for Destiny. How can, this is the thing, right? I saw this again. I don't know if I remember this quote correctly, but how you got the girl is how you're gonna lose the girl. I believe that's correct, right? You gotta think. You that's the thing, right? I don't know how men especially don't understand that. How you got her is how you will lose her. So, if she broke up with her man, it sounded like pretty right away, right? She went from one man to the next like that, okay? She broke up with her man to upgrade to you. Would she not think that the same type of woman that would do that to the last man, if she found a man that in her view is more fitting or better or whatever, okay, she wouldn't do the same thing to you? How would you think that her loyalty is when she didn't even have loyalty for the last man? So you married a woman thinking that, oh, she's gonna have loyalty to me now because of what? Because of money? Because there's always men out there that have more money, or men out there have more charm, or men that fits her in her view better. So that's why now I'm thinking about this is the correct quote, right? Again, how you got her is how she's gonna leave you. You have to think of that, right? So that's why I don't mess with women that have, you know, boyfriends. And I've dealt with that, right? I've been a victim, or not a victim, but a fool of that thing before, where I was talking to a woman, had a boyfriend. I really didn't. Well, not like I really didn't, but she was telling me that the relationship was on the rocks and stuff like that, and I really wanted to, you know, get with her and all that stuff. But, you know, it just didn't work out. But again, you know, it would have been bad either, right? I think it would have been bad, because if that happened to her man then, right? She left her man for me. No doubt she would leave me for another man that she deems better. And that's something that we men definitely have to think about. You know, you have to reevaluate. You know, have some morals, have some principles. You know, don't deal with women like that.
An ultimatum to divorce me, and then threatened to kill himself when she didn't do it, among 20 other abusive, manipulative things he's done, and endlessly make excuses for him, so I'm out. And then here's another one. Destiny, Josh, yeah, me discovering boundaries was the death knell in this relationship. This proves every point I've ever made. Girls can leave you for jobless, manipulative losers if they just play their cards right. I wanted a massive therapy session to see if I could express myself better and iron out some boundaries, but it's hard for me to ask for everything after I've been a pushover for so many years. It's genuinely very, very sad. Like, after reading that, I do have empathy for him there, because obviously he got himself into this situation. He did it himself. He has to take responsibility for that. But he's going, holy crap, I can't even save this now. I mean, he honestly has the perfect takeaway from this, saying it's hard for me to ask for anything if I've been a...
It's funny, right? He's essentially said he's been a pushover for years. But this is the thing, right? He's been a pushover for years, yet throughout those years, he's been a supporter or an advocate, right? For a lot of things he said, like open marriages, or he loves this woman, or, you know, against all the men talk, you know, it's just like it really leaves very little credibility to a lot of shit he says, because then you don't even believe it then. So that's the thing. It is very sad. It's very sad in a way, but essentially he did it to himself. And this is the thing, right? You hear all these men, these male feminists or male panderers, right? And pandering to women, pandering to feminism, pandering to liberals. And it turns out that it always fails, or they're liars, or they're fakes, or whatever. Okay? Because it's just not... It doesn't fit with a lot of men. Okay? Feminism, right? The delusion that women have, it don't fit for a lot of men, because if you are a logical man, it should not fit with you. Okay? It is not logical to be in an open marriage. Okay? Be in an open relationship, right, where you don't care about that person all that much. Okay, that's fine. That's understandable. But to go to the commitment of marriage, right? You gotta be crazy. Already, marriage is such a risky thing for a man. Especially a man that didn't do a prenup. It's already so risky, and then you open it up to so many risks. at the beginning. It is ridiculous.
Pushover for so many years. Like, yes, how do you expect your partner to respect you in any way if you've never demanded that before? And to be even more honest, how do you expect her to respect you if you've never given her reason to respect you? Because you've been sleeping with other women and allowing her to go off and do whatever she wants and saying, yeah, you know, you're not enough for me. That's not reason to respect you. And everybody was warning him, but sadly, he had to learn the hard way. And not to rub it in too hard, guys, but I can't do this episode and not include it, but it's come out on Twitter now who she left him for. And guys, this is the guy in Sweden who she's leaving him for. I mean, come on. Like, there's a video that goes along with this as well.
But, like, look at this, right? She's a pretty woman, right? She's a pretty woman. Pretty white woman. But could you be surprised that this is who she left him with? I mean, like, Destiny's not the epitome of masculine, right? He's not. He's a male feminist. He was kind of a male feminist even before her. She just helped propelled it a bit more, right? Added to his views, I guess. But can you be surprised she's into feminine men? Men that would pretty much easily be, you know, betas and cucks. No surprise, right? I guess he's... I don't know if I would say he's better looking, but I mean, compared to Destiny, I guess. But you cannot be surprised. I mean, I don't know if I would call this an upgrade, right? This guy's pretty much border the line of the spectrum, I guess. But you cannot be surprised. This is what this type of woman is attracted to. Again, she is attractive. It's just weird, her attractions, right? What she's attracted to. But, you know, these are the type of men she's into. So I'm not surprised that she went with this type of man, you know? I would have been surprised if she went with the complete opposite to Destiny or whatever, or opposite to this type of man. But it's just, it's more credence to how Destiny's words or his lifestyle is very unappealing, right? Men should see the lifestyle, the train of thought, you know, the viewpoints of Destiny, okay, and see this case and learn from it, right? Because this is like, wow. I mean, how could you believe in the things that Destiny say, you know, when this is, you know, his marriage is in shambles, and this is who he lost his wife to. It's like, it's not appealing.
That's his beautiful wife. She is stunning. She left Destiny for that. It's so bad. I truly don't have words. I mean, the fact that she chose this over her husband speaks volumes. Like, so many men have been conditioned to believe that standing up for themselves and setting boundaries with women in relationships is wrong and some form of toxic masculinity, and women, you know, get all angry about it. But it's really the opposite. A good woman will respect that strength. They will be attracted to it, and most importantly, they will respect you for it. So do not be a pushover. Please do not be a pushover. And do not believe the lies from people like this that being in an open relationship is the best way to go about having a marriage. Because obviously, it's not.
That's the thing, right? I honestly believe, right? And I think open marriage is very feminist motivated, right? So, yeah, I just think it's a recipe for disaster. And again, and if you guys seen my other videos, right? This is a recipe for disaster, right? All these male feminists, these panderers, right? Like the Steve Harveys, the Derek Jacksons, all these men. They have their lives are proof of their lies, right? Their lives are proof of their lies or their delusions, or that they don't make sense, or listening to them is idiotic. And no duh, they pander to women or other feminist men, right? Because their no nonsense ideology makes more sense to the female brain in general, right? Again, like I said, not all females, because this is kind of why I wanted to react to a woman talking, because yeah, I'm not saying all, no, but again, I honestly believe the majority of women are illogical, okay, very emotion driven, very just self-destructive and just crazy, right? Delusional, hypocrites, and all that such. And then when men step over that threshold, that boundary, whatever, and become male feminists or male panderers, right? They become sad excuses of men, in my opinion, right? So, this is just another case study. And honestly, the long list, again, I have quite a few videos of it. The long list of these male feminists, these panderers, right? And how their life turns out. Okay? It's crazy. It's really, I don't know. It's a sad thing, because I don't want men to, go through all these craziness, right? I don't want good men, right, to go through these, insanity. But good men even need wake up calls. Okay, good men do need wake up calls, because men like Destiny, who's sometimes very logical, especially with politics and stuff. He can be very stupid when it comes to women. And honestly, women are natural kryptonite to men. So, no surprise there. But, yeah. It's just the insanity, Alright.